A woman is accusing Sean Diddy Combs of and her when she was 16 years old in 2000.
In the meantime, let's go back to New York City. Want to get some updates on the case that is unfolding there regarding Sean.
Let's talk about a shocking twist in the story of Shaw. Diddy Combs, his mother, Janice, has suddenly disappeared, leaving everyone wondering why. She has always defended her son in public, so what could have made her vanish without a trace? This story is full of mystery, rumors, and secrets that could change everything. The big news broke earlier this week. Janice Combs has left the country. That's right. The same woman who stood by Diddy through his ups and downs, including his recent legal troubles, is now gone. And she didn't just leave quietly. Her departure was secretive, catching even those closest to her off guard. This isn't just a long vacation. It looks like she's running from something or someone. Let's rewind a bit. For weeks, Janice spoke out in support of her son. She called the accusations against Diddy unfair and asked people not to judge him before hearing his side. She seemed determined to stand by him. So why would she suddenly leave? That's the big question, and the answers might be hidden in her past. This keeps the mystery and drama while making it easier to read. Let me know if you need any tweaks.
Kind of environment growing up in is going to have an impact on a child growing up. Now, it doesn't make excuses for what people do in adulthood, and the form that can take really depends on a lot of different things, including things such as what are the family values? Are the family values about, being open and honest about things, or if there's trauma in a family, do families deal with it, or how is that?
Let's start with the rumors about Janice's possible connection to Diddy's alleged wrongdoings. For years, people have talked about the wild parties she hosted at their family home in Mount Vernon when Diddy was a child. According to friends who spoke in recent documentaries, these weren't just normal get-togethers. One of Diddy's longtime friends, Tim Patterson, described those nights as chaotic and disturbing. He said it wasn't unusual to walk into rooms where things were happening that no child should ever see. Patterson even suggested that growing up in that kind of environment may have influenced the behaviors Diddy is now being accused of. This keeps the meaning intact while making it clearer and easier to read. Let me know if you need any changes.
According to the Rolling Stone, the doc features an alleged childhood friend of Puff's, hip-hop producer Tim Dog Patterson. He alleged that Janice, Diddy's mom, would often throw parties at Diddy's childhood home. He says that during the parties, it wasn't uncommon to walk into rooms where adults was having. That was just.
Let's talk about the rumors about Janice's possible connection to Diddy's alleged actions. For years, people have whispered about the wild parties she held at their home in Mount Vernon when Diddy was a child. According to childhood friends who spoke in recent documentaries, these were far from ordinary gatherings. One of Diddy's longtime friends, Tim Patterson, described those nights as chaotic and disturbing. He said it wasn't uncommon to walk into rooms where things were happening that no child should ever see. Patterson even suggested that growing up in that kind of environment may have influenced the behaviors Diddy is now accused of.
The parties, Tim says, verbatim, that's what we were privy to. This was what we were fed. Was it desensitizing us? I'm sure it was. Were we aware of it? No, that was just Saturday night. In the doc, per Rolling Stone, this type of childhood is alleged to be why Tim, the longtime friend of Diddy's, Puff believes that Puff found himself in the position he is in now.
And let's not overlook the timing of her disappearance. Just as Diddy's legal troubles started heating up, with more accusers coming forward and explosive documentaries airing, Janice suddenly vanished. Coincidence? Not likely. Insiders are already speculating that she may have left to avoid being pulled into the legal drama. If those childhood party rumors are true, who's to say she wouldn't be called to testify? And if she were put under oath, what would she reveal? But that's not all. According to some sources, Janice didn't just leave quietly. She allegedly took a large sum of money with her. Money that Diddy might desperately need to fight his legal battles. If true, this raises even more questions. Was she running out of fear? Or was she cutting ties and securing her own future before things got worse? Either way, her sudden departure has left a major gap in Diddy's support system at the worst possible time.
Another question that we just can't ignore is the role of power. Because one question is, how does somebody become the way they are? And then another question is, how are they allowed to stay the way that they are? And I think that also speaks to this kind of, lack of accountability.
What's even more confusing is how Janice's disappearance is affecting the Combs family. Diddy's children, who have already been in the public eye because of their father's legal issues, now have to deal with the shock of their grandmother leaving. Janice has always played a key role in their lives and was often seen with them at red carpet events and family get-togethers. Her sudden absence has left the family in turmoil, with one insider saying the family dynamic is completely shattered. It's hard not to wonder how this will impact how the kids see both their father and their grandmother in the future.
Keep saying to me, like, how did you keep, why did you keep going? Why were you there? I'm like, it literally is around me. If I don't stay at home, this is the atmosphere I'm in. Like, I have no...
Things get even more complicated when you consider the FBI's involvement. While Janice hasn't been charged with any crimes, her connection to Diddy's case makes her a person of interest. Some insiders believe it's only a matter of time before her name ends up on a wanted list, especially if it turns out she's hiding crucial information. For now, her whereabouts remain unknown. Some say she's in Europe, while others think she's somewhere in the Caribbean. Wherever she is, she's managed to stay off the radar, which is no easy feat in today's connected world. Let's also consider the bigger picture. Janice's disappearance paints a troubling picture of a woman who might not be as innocent as she's tried to appear while defending Diddy. Her actions suggest she's looking out for herself and maybe even feeling guilty. Could she know more than she's letting on? And if so, how does that affect Diddy's case? Her absence could make it harder for his legal team to argue that he's just a victim of circumstance, especially now that one of his strongest supporters seems to have turned her back on him. Then, there's the issue of legacy. Janice has always been seen as a symbol of strength in the Combs family, a single mother who raised a mogul against all odds. But her sudden disappearance risks damaging that image, casting a shadow over everything she worked for. It's a reminder that even the most carefully built facades can fall apart under pressure. As the story unfolds, one thing is clear. Janice's escape has added a new layer of complexity to an already chaotic situation. Whether she's running from the law, the media, or her own guilt, her actions have left behind a trail of questions that may never be fully answered. And as Diddy faces the toughest fight of his life, he now has to do it without the woman who has been by his side for over 50 years. The ripple effects of her disappearance are only just beginning, and the consequences could be far more significant than anyone ever imagined.
That he was above the law, so I can only, think that, he was sloppy in the way that he did these crimes, that there's probably a trail of evidence, not only involving him, but everybody in his circle that he would, delegate these responsibilities to, and those...
Let's talk about Diddy's legal troubles, which are growing by the day. The charges against him are serious and seem to keep getting worse, from allegations of coercion to claims that he organized wild events with questionable people involved. The list of accusations is long, and that's just on the criminal side. On the civil side, things are just as bad. Lawsuits are coming in fast, with attorney Tony Busby reportedly representing 120 accusers. Yes, you read that right, 120. That number alone is mind-blowing. While Diddy's legal team has been working hard to deny the claims and portray him as a victim of false accusations, the sheer number of lawsuits makes it hard to ignore the situation.